Hello, 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 hello. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you for continuing your advocacy on the Nigerian Christian genocide issue. This is a very important live stream that I'm doing today. Today is the 26th day of December 2025, and actually we were on holidays as Save Nigeria Group, which is my organization. My name is Stephen Osemige. We had done a couple of live streams, and we wanted to take a break and do the Yellitude Christmas and reconvene after the holidays to continue our fight and advocacy on ending the Christian genocide in Nigeria. But little did we know that the United States had something in plan and in mind. I had a space on X using the Save Nigeria Group handle to talk about President Trump's New Year surprise on Nigeria. Haven't done several advocacy efforts, haven't engaged in creating awareness about the genocide against Nigerian Christians. My organization, Save Nigeria Group, had a rally on December 1st at the Capitol Hill, and we created a lot of awareness. We continued to follow through with the State Department and congressional leaders calling for help because we believed that the Nigerian state had lacked capacity or willingness to confront the radical Islamic Jihad terrorists that was ravaging the country. And we were concerned also about a possible attack from terrorists this Christmas. And there were credible intelligence that suggested they were massing troops to attack this Christmas. But thankfully, or sadly, we had an attack on Christmas Day in Benue. 5 people were killed. I just got another report about another attack in Sokoto where 30 women were adopted yesterday. Believe it or not, those are not as bad as it could have been. But the big news right now, while I'm doing this live stream, is that the United States President Donald J. Trump, has ordered airstrikes against ISIS camps in Nigeria. My name is Stephen Osemige. I'm the president of Save Nigeria Group. Thank you for following us on Facebook and on YouTube. Our channel is Save Nigeria Group USA on YouTube. On X is at SNG_USA. That's the handle on X. Of course, live here on Facebook. This is my personal account, Stephen Osemige, the president of the organization. This live stream has become necessary because of what has happened in the last 18 to 20 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. Right now, we are going to delve in what is going on as far as the terror campaign in Nigeria, what the US has done, and what is next. That is why we are here. There's a lot of propaganda going on. If you put on your mainstream media, they're trying to spin the narrative to suggest that, what is happening is nothing to see here. There's this claim that the actions of the U.S. Department of War, led by the Honorable Pete Hegseth, ordered by the U.S. President Donald Trump, was a Nigerian government action. In fact, they are selling it as though it is a campaign slogan for themselves. Because, these people can be very interesting. Everything is politics to them. But we want to thank first President Donald Trump of the United States for taking the bold action and giving Nigerians, not just Nigerian Christians, but Nigerians in general, a wonderful Christmas Day present. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for leading where others fail to lead. Thank you for standing with Nigerian Christians. Thank you for standing with Nigerian Muslims. Thank you for standing with Nigerian people, irrespective of their religion. Because the terrorists that the United States has obliterated their camps in parts of Nigeria, particularly in areas around Sokoto and Zamfara, Those terrorists were attacking both Christians, Muslims, non-believers. Anybody that disagreed with them were fair game. And they had moved in Nigeria with the level of impunity, the level it's almost as though the Nigerian government's hands were tied. They said they knew these camps, they knew the terrorists. As a matter of fact, a month or so ago, they went into a Catholic school in Niger and kidnapped 315 people. Believe you me, to move 315 people is no lean feat. But somehow in Nigeria, terrorists can adopt 315 people, mostly children, and take them and keep them for a month. And they will negotiate with the Nigerian government through exchange of a lot of money and other things which they don't disclose. And they release them in droves. They first released, we had 50 escaped. Later, they released 100 after 3 weeks or so. A month later, they released 100 and something. And we are still told that about 35 are unaccounted for. But thank God that many of those children that were kidnapped at the Catholic school are back with their parents. At least they were with their parents for Christmas. But beyond that, the larger issue is the inability or unwillingness of the Nigerian government to confront the situation of insecurity in Nigeria. For the first time in our history, since 1960, when the British did a very bad job and handed over Nigeria to very suspicious elements who have held sway since 1960, Nigeria has not known peace. But for the first time, a foreign nation is bombing the territory that is called Nigeria. So for those who are fans of the current government of Nigeria, like the Tinubu and the APC of this world, congratulations to them. They just made record. We thought failing Nigerian people, creating insecurity, hunger and poverty, looting the country dry was where the government of the day would stop. Well, they've just broken their own record. For the first time, Nigeria is receiving Tomahawk missiles. Tomahawk missiles. Each one weighs up to 500 kilograms. Huge missiles are being lobbed into Nigeria. And our government wants to go on TV. I was watching a Rise Morning Show just now. They want to spin it as a Nigerian government action, even though they had no knowledge or awareness of what was happening. They only were told few minutes to the US action. I had tweeted on my timeline that the United States, since President Trump redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern on November 1st, that there was US covert flights all over Nigeria mapping the terrorists. These are the same terrorists that the Nigerian government claim to know who they are, where they are, their sponsors. They even have a list, allegedly, from the UAE on who is backing this terror campaign against Nigerians. But somehow they don't act on it. They wait for the terrorists to attack, then they go and look for ways to rescue the survivors. But there are still many people still here today. As I speak to you, I just told you 30 people were kidnapped, mostly women, yesterday in Sokoto. It doesn't matter what faith they are. Nigerians should not be kidnapped in this manner. Our country now is being disgraced, I can't say celebrated, as the capital of terror globally. Our country now is where ISIS is being fought against by the world power, the United States Army. And President Trump, in his Christmas evening message, said more to come. What we see is that instead of the government to either hide their head in shame and realize how disgraceful this is, that you are a country, you cannot protect your citizens, you are watching Christian genocide, the genocide of Muslims and other people going on in your country, and a faraway nation, United States, haven't seen the carnage, haven't heard from people like us and other people from Nigeria in America saying, help us, stop the Christian genocide in Nigeria. The United States, out of empathy and international responsibility, has moved to stop the Christian genocide in Nigeria. And on Christmas Day, Santa Claus Trump came with a package for the terrorists, saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. So we want to thank President Trump. I want to thank the United States military and all the service members, AFRICOM, that has gone ahead to do what the Nigerian state refused to do, which is bomb the hell out of these terrorist camps. You already know. They go about as though they are, in fact, there are allegations that they are part of the government of Nigeria. That when they want to do something, informations leak. The Nigerian government says its hands are tied. But the US government yesterday did something that we expected the Nigerian government to do months or years ago, which is bomb the hell out of the terrorists terrorizing your people. The whole duty of a government is the protection of life and property. But Nigeria is, when you put on TV today, they are selling it as though this is a government action. In fact, they said it will be their campaign slogan that they now work with US to fight terrorism. What? Oh my God, how did we get here, Nigerians? How did we get to the point where, for the first time since 1960, Nigeria is getting lobbed with Tomahawk missiles, each one 500 kilograms. For the first time since 1960. We are also told that in Kwara State 2 weeks ago, terrorists were apprehended of the Fulani militia gang, who are the most deadliest in the Middle Belt region. They were caught with weapons tagged to the Nigerian government, the office of the NSA. At the end of the day, the NSA comes out to say, no, they gave those weapons but not to terrorists, but to vigilantes, Fulani vigilantes. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So the government of Nigeria confirmed that they are the ones arming the Fulani militia terrorists that are committing massive genocide, particularly in places like the Middle Belt region of Nigeria. And everybody seemed to be quiet. Thank you, President Trump. Somebody is asking, why are there no pictures, information on casualties? You know what is interesting? The government of Nigeria is beyond reprehensible. I want to shout out to my brother Frank Otor. Frank, hi Frank. Maybe I'll bring you up if you want to give us some information. Thank you for joining this live stream. We are talking about President Trump's Christmas Day present for Nigerians. And some people are saying, oh, we are seeing pictures of open field. Nothing happened. Believe that at your own peril. The Nigerian government is known and renowned for propaganda and lies. They are not showing you the pictures of the destroyed and killed terrorists. They are not. They are showing you one in an open field. But many missiles were lobbed. Have you seen where they landed? Many of them, I even watched a video just now of a gentleman saying that the Lakurawa camp, which is called the Lakurawa camp, but that's ISIS anyway. They go by different names in Nigeria for those that are not from Nigeria. We have at least 20 terror groups active in Nigeria, and we have a government. The disconnect between what happens in government and Nigeria, where Nigeria becomes a terror hub, even worse than Syria, the fact that does not translate to everyday Nigerian is something to be studied by professionals. That we have 20 terror groups operating in Nigeria, and many of them are pledge allegiance to ISIS, which is why the United States have gone after ISIS in Nigeria. And for the first time in our history, we are receiving Tomahawk missiles being lobbed on our country. And the government goes on TV like they did this morning to say, no, this is a Nigerian government operation. This was approved by the Nigerian government. Approved. Are you kidding me? So you waited for all these years, knowing where the terrorists are, but you are waiting for President Trump on a Christmas day to come and approve for him to help you. Who are you to approve what? Let's not kid ourselves. Thank you, President Trump, for not listening to the lies, the propaganda. Oh, nothing to see here. It's not true. Reverend Ezekiel Dakomo is lying. Oh, Save Nigerian Group is lying. Oh, people like Frank Otoy, my brother that's here, we are lying. Thank God that the United States have not listened to the lies. They've mapped the play. They can see it with their drones. The terrorists are assembling. And yesterday, they gave them a Christmas Day present. Thank you, President Trump, for not listening to propaganda and lies. And we want to invite the U.S. to please do not stop with just only dropping these bombs at these locations you have mentioned. The country of Nigeria is overwhelmed with terrorists. There are 20 terror groups as a minimum. So we want to ask President Trump, please, these guys are very crafty. Yesterday they kidnapped 30 people. They are doing more. They attacked 5 people in Benue, killed yesterday. Thank God this was the least bloody Christmas in a long time, thanks to President Trump and the United States. We could have had massive genocide happening again yesterday. But thank God that the US government has not allowed the Nigerian government to play dumb and play the ostrich, bury their head in the sand, and allow killings to go on. The United States government have done what we expect the international community to do. The international community, particularly the global permanent members of the Security Council, not to allow killings and maimings of people who are unarmed, even though it's in a faraway country like in Africa or so. Our lives matter. And President Trump has shown that he is a man that values life, not only of Christians, but of all peoples. And when I listen to some journalists in the United States here who are of the other party that doesn't like Trump, they try to paint President Trump as anti-black. He's a racist. They brought back a case in the 70s. He did not rent a house to black people. Well, but President Trump in 2025 is saving the lives of millions of black people. I think this racism argument is too lazy. Because we have had administrations in America, in the White House. Obama was there, Biden was there, and others. They didn't do anything about it. They made it worse. As a matter of fact, Barack Obama enabled the jihadist party, the jihadist government of Nigeria, to get power in 2015. It was Obama, a black man. So this idea that the United States, he doesn't like black people. Trump is the most pro-black president in history. President Trump, if you're watching this, or anybody that knows President Trump, tell him that he's the most pro-black president in history. There has never been a president in the United States that is more pro-black lives, that is more pro-African lives, that is more pro-Christian, that is more pro-Muslim, that is more pro-freedom than United States President Trump. You can't get it better than this. He is not just talking, he is doing. He is not just promising, he is acting. He is not just tweeting, he is lobbying the tomahawks. And you want to come and tell me, this and that. Pan-Africanists will come and tell you, African sovereignty. Well, Nigeria has lost sovereignty to 20 terror groups. 20 terror groups have taken over the country. Majority in the northern part and the middle belt of Nigeria. And they are encroaching into the south where people are still aloof, doing dirty December, dancing and protecting themselves with military, going in convoy, trying to hide in a country that is terror-ridden. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, United States of America. Thank you for not allowing radical Islamic terror to wipe out millions and millions of Christians in Nigeria, black people for that matter. All those tagging racism cards, US has interest. Well, I can tell you for free, what I see is the United States interest is that radical Islamic terrorism will not be allowed to thrive anywhere in the world. Not in America, not in Europe, not in the Middle East, not in Africa, and certainly not in Nigeria. That is the interest that I see. You can make up fake interest all you want. You can use anti-Trump and anti-US narrative. But what we are seeing is the United States that is standing for religious freedom worldwide. And we want to thank the US government. We may not be able to pay you people back, but you have saved lives. We may not be able to afford to pay the United States back, but you have saved countless lives by just your action alone. Even before you acted yesterday, sir, President Trump, your words has already created awareness that was creating so many questions being asked. For example, the Nigerian government started running, appointing General Musa as the Minister of Defense, which is a very good one. Starting to declare the Fulani Islamic bandits, which they call bandits, as a terrorist group. Because until now, people can kill in the name of a religion. They can kidnap 315 children from a Catholic school. They are not called terrorists in Nigeria until Trump. Thank God for President Trump. Nigerian government is waking up to now say these people are terrorists. So we are seeing some slow action in Nigeria, but the truth is that there's still far more because Nigerian government knows every location of the terrorists. How do I know? When they kidnap people, they know who to call. They know where to go and negotiate. We want the Nigerian government to show goodwill by suspending Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the current NSA of Nigeria, because of the allegations of his funding and arming terrorists, particularly in the Middle Belt, in Kwara and other places, where Fulani militia found with Miyeti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria membership card, with NSA issued assault rifle, on a mission to go and commit genocide. That is a red-handed. It's no longer a suspicion. It demands proper investigation, and we are calling on the Nigerian Senate. Senator Godswill Akpabio from Akwa Ibom. We know you are of the same party with the Nigerian government. We know your Senate has become a rubber stamp, but you can still try to do some semblance of checking on do your oversight function as a legislative and a legislature. We want hearings, we want investigations on this arming of terrorists in Nigeria. And we want to show real sincerity that the Nigerian government means business when it says it wants to deal with radical Islamic terrorism that is ravaging Nigeria. So thank you for not giving up on the issue of, I'm talking about the United States president now. Thank you, President Trump, for not giving up on Nigerians, for listening to our cry. What we are saying is that the actions of yesterday is absolutely necessary, absolutely commendable, but we are asking for more. More because Nigeria has at least 20 terror groups, all aligned with Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and other nefarious elements in the world. We don't want that to be our country. Nigeria is 240 million people, mostly youths, under the age of 40. It is the future of that continent. It cannot be allowed to fall into the hands of radical Islamic terror. So we want to do this live stream in order to engage our people, engage the global community to say, look, Nigerians are grateful for the actions of the United States. We don't want to tow the narrative of the mainstream media that always use alleged Christian genocide. Evidence does not support. This one, that one. They use terminologies that are so lame. And I dropped a comment on Sky News interview today where they were interviewing a government propagandist in UK. And I said, reach out to me, savenigeriagroupusa@gmail.com if you want to know the truth of what is happening and how the Nigerian community supports the actions of President Donald Trump of the United States. God bless America. God bless the United States. God bless Nigeria. God bless lovers of peace worldwide. People who will stand for the truth and stick with it. We know that the optics is always challenging. And President Trump had waited and he tapped Congressman Riley Moore, God bless Congressman Riley Moore of West Virginia, who is a member of the House Appropriations Committee, and Chairman Tom Cole of the House Appropriations Committee, United States Congress, to get back to him. And I'm sure they've gotten back to him. Thank you, Representative Tom Cole. Thank you, Representative Riley Moore of West Virginia. Thank you for all those who have been speaking up. Thank you, my brother Frank Uto. Thank you, Mike Arnold, our brother from Texas, Africa Arise. Thank you for the many people in the Save Nigerian group, our friends and partners. Thank you for several groups from the Middle Belt. Thank you to our Bishop Anagbe of the Makurdi Diocese. Thank you for our great Africa Committee Chairman Chris Smith. Thank you to our brother Emmanuel Ogebe. Speaking of our brother Emmanuel Ogebe, we have the good news to report also that Sunday Jackson has been freed. And we were told that on Christmas Day, Governor Fintiri of Adamawa, in his Christmas Day address, granted clemency to the unjust death row incarceration of Sunday Jackson, who had been in jail for almost 11 years on death row for defending himself. Shout out to Sean Nelson of the ADF team who brought awareness to this issue. Shout out to Doc Saul of Truth Nigeria and equipping the persecuted for what they are doing to expose what is happening in Nigeria. I read Doxor's tweet yesterday, and he said to the African Command, Africom, if you really want to end Christian genocide in Nigeria, call me. And Doxor, he's an authority in this issue. He is. He's on ground. He has people on ground reporting to him. And he was one of those that brought out the whistleblowing that Christmas could be bloody if nothing is done. And Truth Nigeria, God bless you. Equipping the persecuted, God bless you. You've saved countless lives by your whistleblowing, by creating awareness. You've saved countless lives. So we want to thank everyone that is active, everyone that is working hard to make sure that the Christian genocide in Nigeria ends. We want to thank everyone that has spoken up. We are continuing our efforts. Save Nigeria Group USA is continuing to work with everyone that is willing to make sure we end the Christian genocide in Nigeria. Let me see if my brother Frank is available. I don't know if he's still here. Okay, he may not be here anyway. Let me see, but he dropped off a comment. Okay. Thank you all for continuing to fight, continuing to speak that religious freedom must be a mainstay in Nigeria. That everyone has a right to practice whatever faith they choose. Christians should go to their churches, Muslims should go to their mosque, and whoever wishes not to go at all should have that prerogative. Nobody should be killed for their faith. And that is what is happening in Nigeria. Thank you for joining to expose these ills that is happening. And President Trump, he deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. He deserved an award that is the highest. I'm sure his award is going to wait for him in heaven. But on earth, we Nigerians are grateful. We do not buy the lies against President Trump about, he doesn't like black people. President Trump loves black people. He loves white people. He loves all people. He loves justice. He loves the truth. Because he's acting to protect lives, not only American lives. Yes, America first, but he does not mean others last. He's showing signs that the United States will not sit back and watch genocide and watch terrorists run amok, committing killings everywhere. So shout out to everyone that continues to speak on this issue. We will not relent. I want to say Merry Christmas to all those who are celebrating across the world and a happy 2026. On the Nigerian issue, it is nowhere near over. This is only the beginning. The genocide against Nigerian Christians will not end until all the terrorist groups are eliminated and until the internally displaced Nigerians, about 11 million of them, can go back to their homes. They are stuck in different IDP camps, no nutrition, no food, no sanitation, no medical supply, no school. People like Africa Arise and other groups are trying to do private arrangement for schools, for children that are being radicalized because they've been abandoned. So we must continue to fight, continue to engage, continue to speak until the IDPs are restored safely and peaceably to their communities, until terrorists can no longer walk about with assault rifles, RPGs and others, until we can no longer have the situation of kidnapping that is rampant. This is not over. So thank you, President Trump. Thank you, America. God bless these United States. Thank you, Nigeria. Thank you, lovers of peace worldwide. Shout out to everyone that is working. All the media that is reporting this, Fox News. Thank you, Newsmax. Thank you, News Nation. Thank you for all those that are in America exposing what is happening. Thank you for independent media that is doing a yeoman's job to make sure the truth comes out. The terrorists in Nigeria will not sleep easy tonight because the U.S. president is doing the right thing. The terrorists everywhere should not have a safe haven. Not anywhere, not in Nigeria. So thank you for joining the live stream. I'll stop so far. My name is Stephen Osemide. I'm the president of Save Nigeria Group. If you want to learn more about our organization, go to our website, www.savenigeriagroupusa.org. And thanks for joining the live stream. Thank you very much.